Hi, and today we're going to be showing you how much money you can make from email marketing. On the agenda, first of all, making money. I believe this will honestly shock you about how much money you can make from email marketing. We'll run through an example, and then we'll look at one or two variations on that example. So we're going to start with the assumption that you've got 1,000 people on your email list. Now, don't panic if you haven't got to that stage, or you're maybe just getting started entirely. But it's not hard to build up an email list of 1,000 people, and we show you how to do that. We'll cover that. It's covered in a separate video, and we show you how to build up an email list fast. So check that out. Watch this one first, and then check that one out. So we send out an offer to the email list, and that offer typically would be to offer something for free to the customers. So this might be a free starter or a free dessert or a free glass of wine, as long as they have, let's say, a 3-course meal in your restaurant. So you know that they're spending a fair amount of money, but you're giving them something for free. And that's in the offer that you send out to the email list. Ideally, that's targeted for a quiet time in your restaurant. So, I mean, most restaurants are quiet between Mondays and Thursdays. So that is the time when you would want to make this offer. If they come in during that time, then the offer is available. You don't want to make the offer on a Saturday night or whatever when you're going to be busy anyway. The next thing to do is to give it scarcity value. That is to say that the period of time for which the offer is open is, let's say, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks perhaps, or perhaps the rest of the month. You don't want to make it an ongoing offer, because otherwise they'll think, well, we can go any time there and get that free offer. There's no incentive to get a move on. The final point would be that you need to offer them some sort of code or something in the offer. This can be just a code that they speak. They can either bring in their phone to show that they've had the email, or they, you could say winter offer, or some such thing, or just an unusual word that they bring in as a code, and they say that to you, and the offer will be applied. So let's assume that you get a 2% response rate from this email circular that you've sent out. A response rate means that these people come into your restaurant. So 2% of the people that you send it out to actually take action and come in to your restaurant. That would be on an email list of 1,000 people. It would obviously be 20 people. Now, of course, people don't usually eat alone. I'm just going to move myself across here. People don't usually eat alone. They bring a partner. So you might find people bring 4 people, and some people might eat alone, but the norm is to bring another person to the restaurant. So that would mean 40 people come. And let's assume that they're paying £25 a head. That's just based on, don't forget you're offering a free starter or a free dessert, but let's say your main dish is £15 and the dessert is £10, something like that. You can see that the spend is £25 a head. If we multiply that by 40, the increased revenue for the restaurant is £1,000. So that's a very simple, straightforward example. Now let's look at let's ask the question, what if? What if that email list was 8,000? What if the campaign ran for twice a month? Now, in fact, the figures that I based this on is that 8,000 is just run once a month. And the reason, what you'd actually need to do is, when you've got a list that size, you'd need to spread it probably over a 2-week period. So in other words, you'd send the email out to 4,000 people for the first 2 months, for the first 2 weeks. And that's the period during which they could come in, and then you would send the rest of your client list and the rest of the 4,000 something halfway through the month, and that would apply up to the end of the month. So you're running the campaign twice, but effectively you're just sending it out to 8,000 people. Let's push the average spend up here to about £40. This might mean that they're buying a bottle of wine, perhaps between 2 of them, or various side dishes or a liqueur or whatever it might be. But we are pushing it up and saying, what if? We are just asking the question, what if the average spend was £40. I don't think that's excessive. I met a lady the other day who said that she tended to spend about £150 for when she went out as a couple in London. So it just shows you, I mean, that is certainly upper level, but it shows you that there some people do spend a lot of money when they go out. Let's assume also that the response rate here is 5%, and let's see what effect that has on the figures. Well, here's the calculation. 8,000 times 5% gives 400 people. 400 people we multiply by 2 if they come as couples, so there's 800 additional people coming to your restaurant in a month. Let's say that there's an average spend of £40. 800 times 40 equals 32,000 extra revenue per month. Can you believe it? I said that it would be a little bit shocking, but these figures are not out of the ballpark. Let's look at if you are cynical about how these figures, and it's just an example, of course. Let's look at this. Now, you might say, well, my email list is not 8,000, but what is to stop you getting your email list up to 8,000? We can help you do that, and there are tried and trusted methods, and we've got an especially powerful method of building up your email list. 5% response rate is high. Yeah, that's probably true. However, it really does depend on the relationship that you have with your customers. If you have a very powerful relationship, that response rate is quite possible. The average spend seems high, perhaps not in a London restaurant though, and if people are buying wine and so forth, that's not beyond the realms of possibility. So this gives you food for thought about the means of going about this. Now let's rein back a bit and make things a bit more reasonable. Let's say your email list is 5,000, you get a 2% response rate. The average spend is £30, and that your campaign goes out once a month. You talk about a 6,000 increase in revenue, and this is not pushing the boat out. This is not doing anything exceptional. It means a potential increased revenue of £6,000 a month. What's next? In our next videos, we show you why build an email list if you're not already convinced that you need to. Hopefully this money-making situation shows you why it's important to have an email list, but there's other reasons that you should have an email list as well. And we also show you in another video how to build an email list fast. So you want to check those out. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Bye.